From Kurian to Kuril.
No. He is Kurian, Mr. Kuril.
Thank you, sir. I am standing here to speak on this Academy of Scientific and Innovative Research Bill 2010. I thank you for giving me this opportunity, sir. Sir, this bill that we have before us in this house today
BSc is there.
for consideration, two of my illustrious colleagues in this house, Vyas ji and Kurian ji, they have spoken at length about the merits and demerits of this bill.
Your name is, sir?
So today,
When will I come?
No,
after listening to these
one round.
both the speakers,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
after
7,
going through the bill,
9, 10.
कितने लोग हैं?
After 10.
there are a lot of things which I have in mind,
10
but due to paucity of time, I would try to focus on a few of them which I think are very relevant in the given context. Sir, our country, once upon a time, hundreds of years back, it was a major scientific power. As Vyas ji has said about the invention of zero, so many other in the field of metallurgy, astronomy, in all the fields, our country was a major superpower. It was a leader in the science in this world. But over the years, we have fallen down. You were just mentioning about the place of India in terms of scientific achievements. We are slipping down day by day, year by year, and today, as you have mentioned, we stand 62nd in the world. And 62nd is a very distant and very down kind of a rating. It's not a very happy kind of situation. Many times we wonder what is happening. And today, in the course of this discussion, as you have already mentioned, that our state of affairs is not very good or promising. But the question is, why it is happening so? Why it is happening? We are discussing the symptoms without trying to understand the disease. And I today will try to focus on the disease. Today, sir, before we started this debate, when the bill was introduced, our party, in a very big way, we try to draw the attention of the chair and the Honorable Minister also towards this lack of provision of reservation in this bill. And we are happy that the Honorable Minister has agreed to include this provision. But that is not all we are interested in. Of course, that is a very major thing for us, that we cannot allow the interests of SC, ST and OBCs to be overlooked in this bill or any other bill. But sir, coming to the main point, why we are lacking in our scientific achievements. In one of the research done by a leading magazine, international magazine, they tabulated a list of 500 universities, top universities in the world. And in that list, our IIT, it came, it's distant 350 or 355. That is the top ranking in the first 500 universities, scientific universities in the world. Our IIT comes 350 or something. Nowhere in the first 100 we are having any place. And we claim that India is a major producer of scientific manpower. For the past many years, many decades, 2-3 decades, we have been claiming that India produces the biggest number of scientific manpower. Quantitatively, yes, but in terms of quality, the third-rate scientific manpower. The third-rate scientific manpower, which is good for nothing. It is not I who is saying this thing. Where we stand in terms of research, technology development. Nowhere. Just few days back, I was going through Manorama yearbook. In that Manorama yearbook, they have a list of scientific achievements. I couldn't find even a single Indian invention or Indian anything worth mentioning. It has tabulated some 300-400 inventions, scientific invention achievements. Not even a single Indian. And we claim that we are the biggest scientific manpower. I'm also a member of the HRD committee, sir. We have got few bills lined up about IITs. Honorable HRD Minister was here. I think he has gone now. In the HRD committee, when the HRD secretary was trying to push this bill, IIT bill, and she was saying, she was talking about the brand equity of IIT. The IIT is the top institution in the world in terms of scientific achievements. I asked her one question, and today I am repeating the same question here. She said, we want to open new IITs because IITs have established their name all over the world, not just in this country, but all over the world in terms of their scientific achievements. I asked her, Madam, please tell me, the IITs have been in existence for the last 60 years, or 50 years perhaps. I asked her, please tell me 5 inventions, scientific achievements in any field. She was not able to speak of even one. And today, the government is planning to start 10-20 more IITs, draining more and more money of the public exchequer. I want to tell you, sir, the best scientific research in our country, it has come from not from IITs, it has come from regional engineering colleges. And these are the colleges, these are the institutions where people belong, the students belonging to SC, ST, OBC, middle class, lower class people, they go, not IITs. IITians, after their graduation, they immediately file their visa application and they leave the country. Whatever they do outside, we are not concerned. But what is the achievement of IITians here in India? But he's not contributing anything for the science, for politics maybe, but not for the science. Politics, yeah, political science. Yes. So this is the achievement. So this is the scenario here. Our biggest and the best scientific achievements, it has come from non-IITians. Our President Abul Kalam Azad, Kalpana Chawla, scientists Chandrasekhar Venkat Raman, Subramanian Chandrasekhar, sorry. They are from small colleges, not from big colleges, IITs. BHU is one example. So all these examples are there. So please give me some time because this is a very important topic and I'm going to raise few important examples about where we are lacking. Yeah, I understand, please. I'll give you 2-3 examples as to what is wrong. Through this so-called national importance institutes, which the government in a big way is introducing, and we already have an list of some 30-40 institutions in which government is going to announce as national importance and which there is going to be no reservation for SC, ST and OBC. And already 10-15 bills are in the pipeline which are going to be again national importance institute. Sir, this is a reflection of the bad mindset of the government. It's not a question of this bill only that we are providing reservation. It reflects the mindset of the government that this government is anti-SC, ST and OBC and minority. Through this kind of a thing, the government is trying to create a kind of a caste system in our higher academic fields. That you have some institutes or institutions imparting higher institutes of excellence. You can say upper caste institutions. Or you have lower caste institutions like RECs and smaller institutions. They will get the funding from the government, bulk of the funding, hundreds of crores, thousands of crores. But these smaller institutes, they will be deprived of all the funds. And the students who are going to these smaller institutes, They are from socially deprived sections mostly because they can't afford high fees. Sir, I will give one example as to why this kind of bill cannot succeed, even if it comes into operation, unless we change the mindset of our people who are sitting in the universities. I'll give you an example from IIT Delhi. And this example should open the eyes of everybody. There is a student, PhD student, doing his PhD in mechanical engineering, belonging to the scheduled caste community, IIT Delhi. His name is Prashant Bhosle. For the last 10 years, he is doing his PhD, and his professors, they have deliberately stopped giving him degree. They are denying him degree for the last 10 years. And what is the reason? What is the reason? They are simply refusing to sign on his thesis. And this boy, very intelligent boy, scheduled caste boy, he has done his research on a very important subject, which can save the life of thousands and thousands of people.
So many speakers.
It's a research on airbags in two-wheelers, motorcycles. And sir, please sir, let me complete, sir. This IIT people, they denied him degree, and they continue to deny him degree even today. So meanwhile, what happened? 3 years back, this boy, he sent his research paper to one of the top universities in America. The American Society of Mechanical Engineers, they invited this boy to present his paper there in USA, in Boston. The IIT people, they created so many obstacles for his going abroad, but somehow he managed to go there. He presented his paper there, and it was very well appreciated by the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. He came back, but even despite that, these university professors, they are denying him degree. Now the question is, IIT stands nowhere in front of American institutes. If the Americans can appreciate that yes, this boy has done good research, there is no reason why the PhD should be denied to this boy. Why it is happening? Why it is happening? It is happening because of the dirty mindset of the people who are managing these institutes, like whether it's IIT. And my fear is, sir, and I want to draw the attention of the Honorable Minister also, you cannot do anything for the improvement of science and technology unless this mind and mindset change. Just, I will conclude in 2 minutes, sir. Why we are not growing scientifically? Because we are trying to exclude 70 to 80% population of this country, which is the SC, ST, OBC and religious minority. If we exclude these people, saying that these people don't have merit, they don't have any technical expertise, so they are the people who have made Indus Valley civilization, we should not forget. They are the people, they are the people who have contributed a lot in terms of scientific achievement, in terms of art and architecture and everything. So if you deny this opportunity to 75-80% people of this country, the SC, ST, OBC minorities, no country can achieve anything in the field of science. If you cite the example of China, because in China, all the sections of society are being given a fair chance to show and prove their expertise,
Yes.
excellence.
Okay.
But at the same time, here we are lacking this kind of a mindset, positive mindset toward
Okay.
SC, ST, OBC. That is why our party and myself, we are pressing in a very big way to include the SC, ST, OBC people, not just in faculty, not just in jobs, but also, and also one more thing, sir, finally. In this bill also, sir, we are having, as the Honorable Minister has graciously agreed for this reservation, we have this board and Senate which will look after the working of these institutions. So in this also, we want proper representation. You may not call it reservation, proper representation for these people, so that even at Senate level, there is no discrimination.
Yeah.
What is going on in this country, in all the institutions. With this, I conclude. Thank you, sir.
that's
Thank you very much.